Hey everyone, this is Jeff Thompson. A couple months ago, I put out 4 videos on the build of our Tiffin Wayfarer, and I was asked by several people at that time if I'd put out a video after we received the coach. I thought about that, and I really didn't want to do just one of those cookie cutter videos like all the dealers and manufacturers do. Wanted to give us some time in the coach, figure out how we're going to live in it and be comfortable. And now, after 35 days on the road, 3 state parks, 8 RV parks, a Walmart, and a racetrack infield, we pretty much feel like we've got it set up to we're very comfortable in it. So rather than going through all the accessories and everything else, I'm going to show you what adjustments we've made, what little additions we've done, and how we best feel it serves us for living in it every day. There'll be some basic stuff at the beginning, dealing with the bays and so forth, that haven't changed much. That's pretty much for the people who are interested in the Tiffin Wayfarer itself. Once we get inside, we'll get into a little bit more detail of all the little extras that we've added. Now, for those of you who have already have a Tiffin Wayfarer or see something that you do, man, I'd appreciate a comment. Let me know some other things we can do to make life even more comfortable. We're having a ball, and let's go on to the show you exactly how we roll. On the driver's side, there are 4 bays, a pass-through storage area, and the slide. On the passenger side, there are 3 bays, the pass-through storage area, and the steps. As for the electrical department, let me start with what's provided with the coach. On the back wall, you see a surge guard transfer switch. That device pretty much determines whether you're on shore power, generator, or battery, and then transfers all the appropriate information to the coach for operation. And then the power cord there on the left-hand side is the 25-foot power cord provided by Tiffin. Now, on the left-hand wall, you'll see a surge guard, and that is a complete coverage surge guard, and analyzes and reports any problems you have with electrical. On the bottom right, you'll see another heavy-duty extension cord. That's a 25-foot extension, 30-amp extension cord that I got. And then on top of that, you have a basic extension cord. Then here is the container that I keep in the electrical compartment. I keep several items there. Of course, you see a glove. You got a couple dog bones in there. You got a Klein line tester. I've got a multimeter in there, and that's pretty much all I've got in the electrical department. Okay, in the water bay on the left-hand side, you got all your controls and your inlets for your valves. You got a switch there for turning on the water pump, and you've also got a place to hook up a hose to flush out your black tank. Beside that, you got your water filter and your water pump. And then the container itself has, as you can see on top, the Y splitter for hooking up both hoses, water regulator, and also I keep my cable in there for the RV parks that have a cable system. Now, the container that I used here and also an electrical is a Sterling 1924 that I got at Walmart. Seems to be a perfect size for inside the compartments. And then lastly, a picture with everything in there, including the 2 hoses. On the sewer bay door, I've got disposable gloves that are attached to the door. You can get those at any camping supply house. And of course, here's a detail of the sewer bay itself. Of course, the age-old question is, what do I do with a sewer hose? Well, here you go. On the pass-through door at the back, I've got a 6-inch pipe cut just short of the length of the compartment. I've got 2 caps. The farthest one is glued on. This one you can see has a little rubber stopper with a hole drilled in it. That gives an opportunity for the air release for the cap to go on and off. Inside, I've got the connector for the parks and 20-foot of sewer hose. It all easily stows away and is very easy to set up. Okay, of course we have the propane bay, which ain't much you can say about that. Moving over to the passenger side, the back bay includes our Weber 1200, extra propane tanks, and our outdoor cooking utensils, plus a couple lanterns. Do have to take the lid off the Weber and put it in two pieces. Of course, then we've also got the 3200 generator, and then that front bay is a little bit of everything. It's got a few items that can be stored outside that I use on rare occasion, such as cleaning supplies, things along those lines. But mostly it's used for an outdoor pantry for items that don't have to be kept in a controlled environment. And of course, also that's where your inverter is, and there's also a 110 outlet for general use. Everything except for the air conditioner is going to be aftermarket items I added. You can see the Wi-Fi Ranger antenna sticking up there to the left of the solar panel. Those are 260 watt solar panels that I added, and a black cover, max air cover for the fantastic fan in the bedroom. There's the air conditioning along with two charcoal max air covers for the fans in the living area and the bathroom. And then you've got a antenna there on the right. The white is a WeBoost. And of course, you've got the skylight for the bathroom shower. And we flew our Honda CRV using the Blue Ox towing package. And basically in the back seat of the CRV while we're in travel mode, we have all our patio and camping gear, and primarily we have a rug, a extra step. We didn't have that to start with, but we found out that as we leveled out the coach, or maybe been on a little bit of a slant grade, that that last step could be a doozy, so that's been a great addition. We got our two chairs, a couple of cup holders. We have two tables, you can use as a side table, or as you can see here, a computer table. We also have Xfinity that we can tie into with our internet, and I can link up and watch TV through the home unit. But in the 35 days we were on the road, I think we sat down and maybe watched TV for about a total of 2 hours. Then we got two foldable chairs there in the back seat also. Then back in the hatch area, we carry a Yeti 45 cooler, which primarily, like when we were boondocking at Talladega, we were able to keep a few more frozen foods and so forth for items, or if we see we're not going to be around the store for a while. And of course, I've got my Anderson link levelers back there and a few other items. And of course, we prefer to cook outside anytime we have the opportunity. So also in the back seat of the Honda while we're traveling is this portable kitchen. And then we can mount whatever we're using to cook with. We've got the Weber 1200, like I mentioned, that we store in the coach. We have a toaster oven, dual hot plate, and of course the infamous Instapot. As I was setting up the shots out there in that barren parking lot, I just didn't feel like bringing the canopy out would give it justice. As you can see here, it covers us in the rain. As long as there ain't a driving rain, we can pretty much be outside. And then at night, the LED lights give off a light that is just very comfortable and relaxing. Well, now for the inside of the coach. Primarily, I've always called it our hotel on wheels, but with a couch and a couple comfortable chairs, technically it's a hotel suite on wheels. Once we got the coach, the first thing we did was remove things that we wouldn't be utilizing just for Sharon and myself and the two dogs. So we removed all the bedding or bunk materials from the bunk area and took out the extra foam cushions to turn the twins into a king bed. Otherwise, pretty much everything in there is still standard as was provided once we got it from Tiffin. Okay, we'll start off with our travel mode. Primarily, most of the stuff is stowed on the beds in the back. The picture you're looking at there, you see the sleeping bag on the left. That normally is one of the dog's cubbies with the dog in and zipped up for security reasons. On each side, we keep a table and one of the legs, and then on the other side, we'll keep the front chair cushions, sleeping bags and pillows, and the dog beds that go on the floor. Basically, this final view is from the front looking back in the travel mode. We always keep the couch clear, so as we're on a trip, we can stop and eat or take a break along the way. Okay, this view is of the driver's compartment when we're in travel mode. Note that the trash can is located conveniently behind the driver, so either one of us can use it while we're driving. Everything in the bunk area is well placed, so it never shifts while driving. And then all the drawers are closed and locked, and the coffee pot is secured with towels in the kitchen sink. Note the towel holder above the sink has been added. And then the coat hooks, which are located just in front of the refrigerator, they are placed so they don't interfere with the slide when it's being retracted. Yeah, we set the tables up in several configurations over the past 35 days, and we found that putting a large table between the two chairs seems to be the best for utilizing space. It leaves the couch and the cabinets above them easily accessible. We store the small table beside the passenger seat when we're in the camping mode. And between the seats, we keep the trash can. And in front of that, when we're actually camping, would be our dirty clothes bag. Makes everything really easy to get to. The TV is easily seen, and neither of us has gotten uncomfortable trying to watch it. All the seating is very comfortable, and with the outlet near the TV being on the inverter, it makes it easy for us to hook up our computers without having any cords in the way when we're dry camping. When the slide is out, there's plenty of room to move around in the seating area and the kitchen, and note the position of the coat hooks when the slide is out. We use a whisk broom near the door to sweep the steps when necessary. We don't have to do that as much as we used to. Now that we got that new step, it's got a grill pattern that pretty much gets rid of all the gravel and sand on our shoes before we even step onto the steps. The grab bar on the screen door has made it much easier to close the door. Before it was installed, we either had to bend down awkwardly for the door handle or grab the plastic slide, which is not really made for that type of pulling. And then most of the time when we're on the road or in the camp, we have the bunk shade up so we get some extra light from that. In the shower, we use command hooks extensively from hanging toiletries to the soap dish you see in the upper right-hand corner. We also use these hooks for hanging wet towels and bath suits. The towel bar on the door came with the Wayfarer, and we use it to hang our bath mat. And in the bathroom, we haven't added anything that didn't come with the coach outside of a trash can, a bowl brush, and we store our black tank chemicals in the space directly behind the toilet. As far as cabinet space is concerned, we have more than enough for all the clothes and other necessities that we have. We did not put a TV in the bedroom, so we utilize this tall space for storage. Eventually, I'll probably add a second or maybe even a third shelf to that storage area. This area holds the towels and most of my clothes, along with the area beside the monitoring gauges. And between this cabinet and the drawer on the right, Sharon easily has room for all her clothes. The drawer on the left we use for a bunch of miscellaneous items. In the kitchen, the spice cabinet meets its need along with the cabinets above the counter and the couch. We had the dishes and the glasses above the couch to start. With the food above the counter, we found that we were reaching more often for the dishes and glasses, so we moved them to above the counter. And then the tension rods do a great job of keeping everything in place while we're traveling. And of course, when we're in full stocking mode, we utilize a lot of the space in the bunk area. And we use puck lights quite a bit throughout the coach. My solar monitor doesn't really have a good backlight, so I've got one in there that I can pop it and see what the readings are without having to turn on the bedroom light. And then in the deep corner of the cabinets above the beds, it's very dark there, so we put a puck light in each of those corners. And then also in our hang-up closets, make it a lot easier. I've had a few up front, which I'll probably replace, but I don't have any pictures to show you at the current time. One of the smartest things we did is when we put our Max air covers over our fantastic fans, the one in the sitting area and the one in the bathroom, we used the smoke cover, which still lets quite a bit of light in to brighten up the area. But in the bedroom, we used the black or dark cover. So even during the day, when we close our shades and door, it gets very dark in that bedroom, and it's easy to take a siesta or a nap, whichever you want to call it. The storage area and the bunk area really is the hub of our operation. As you can see, we store our toaster oven and our dual hot plate up there. The larger containers you see to the back right. There's one to the left there you can't see because behind the slide is our shoes. And of course we keep all our paper towels, toilet paper, and just things that we use on a regular basis. Now, the container that I find the most useful is right there in the center, and that's the Sterilite 2026. Again, it's a good size container, long enough that it will fit against the back of the wall, but easily reachable from inside. And it's not so big that by the time you fill it up, it's too heavy to maneuver. And before we move on to show you the living room, I want to share with you one of those great opportunities of being in the right place at the right time. We got to Talladega on Wednesday to set up camp, as you can see here, and it rained all day Thursday. Then Friday morning we got up to go over and watch some practice, stopped by the fan zone and visited with the folks there at Xfinity. Well, turned out they found out we were pretty good customers of theirs, so they invited us to be the presenters of the $100,000 check to the winner of the Xfinity Series Dash for Cash at the Saturday race. So here's a picture of Sharon and I presenting the check to Elliott Sadler, who was the winner of the Dash for Cash. And here's our video clip from Fox TV.
Big winner, $100,000. God almighty.
So before we leave the Wayfarer and step out into our living room, I want to thank everyone at Tiffin Motorhomes. The Wayfarer is a great RV. I had years and years researched RVs and had heard how good Tiffin was, and their customer service was second to none. So my expectations were pretty high getting into this purchase. But even with that, they still exceeded my expectations in their customer service and care they provided. I would highly recommend the Tiffin or Tiffin Wayfarer in particular coaches to anybody out there looking for an RV. So that being said, let's step out of the RV into our living room and see what we had on our trips. Along the way, we encountered a lot of road art. We had some beautiful sunsets, fresh fruits and vegetables in the roadside stands, even got to spend a night at Walmart. Traveling gives us a chance to visit with old friends, eat at wonderful restaurants, and have the owner visit us at our table, see both modern architecture and old homes of our founding fathers. Even get bombed by a deer at a Civil War fort. Meet many new friends at the campsites we visited, and visit and camp with our kids and our grandchildren. And more beautiful sunsets and sunrises every day. We got to attend special events around the country, and best of all for me, I got to do it all with my best friend. So it's hard to imagine it's only been 35 days. I can't wait for all the wonders we will enjoy over the next several years.
of her songs. Every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray. Every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray. Upon the mountain my Lord spoke, out of his mouth come fire and smoke. I look all around me, and around me shine. I ask the Lord if all is mine. Every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray. Every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, moving in my heart, moving in my heart, I will pray. Yeah.
Now, if you look out to the left, about a mile out, you'll see a man-made island known as Fort Sumter. That was the site of the first battle of the Civil War, started on April 12, 1861 at 4:30 in the morning. Now, we didn't open fire on Fort Sumter from this peninsula. At the time, there wasn't a weapon on earth that would have shot that far. We opened fire from the left at Morris Island, from the right at James Island. And just for somebody like myself who studies history and yaps about it for a living, that has got to be one of those fascinating moments our city ever saw. Many of these homes, not every single one of them, but many of them were here when we went to war. At 4:30 in the morning, there were hundreds and hundreds of people on the balconies and rooftops of these houses watching that battle.